several. And the first thing I thought was, what are you doing to get yourself funding? What are you doing to make money? And, you know, it's almost amazing to me to think that people would just come in the chat and ask for money because they think it's a business. What are you doing to make money? And then Glenn played a clip that the person said, it's earn the right to be helped. So I always think, what are you doing to try to transform and turn things around? What decisions and what choices are you making? Because he said it's about decisions and choices that you make, right? So yes, it's a trauma-filled life, but what are you doing to try and change that? What decisions are you making?
Well, I didn't say trauma-filled. I said trauma-driven. And to me,
right,
it's two different things. And I read some of those chat messages as well. I don't relate to them because my entire life I've had nobody I could ask give me anything. So I don't know what that feels like because that's not my story. It is my living son's story, and I just personally think that when you get in the habit of asking other people to bail you out, then it becomes just that, a habit. But when you don't have a choice, I didn't have a choice. When I left home at 17, I could not and did not have anybody I could call back and ask for $10. And so I learned how to get it on my own with the help of God. I'm not saying that I didn't pull myself up by my bootstraps. I have to give God credit as well. But as I give God credit, one of the things that I truly believe is you have to give him something to work with. You don't have to, but I think it's important to give him. I don't want to put him in a box, but I think it's important to give him something to work with. And so there's this collaboration. I'm not one of those that just believe that you name it and you claim it. I believe that you have to be led. You have to adhere to your deity tells you, and the path that's opened. It's up to you to travel that path. And when the door of opportunity is open, it's up to you to walk through that door. So as I was listening to what Glenn said, I'm thankful that I have lived a great life. I've done a lot of things. I've been a lot of places. And for the 46, almost 47-year-old me, I say thank you because he did the hard work so that I don't have to do it now. Back to you, Tricia.
Thank you, Pastor Jeff. We're going to be handing the mic over to Health Wells. I just want to add the challenge that Glenn is offering. Please think about it. What are you going to add, or what are you going to take away? What are you going to tell the 30 years from now version of yourself? Are you willing to write that letter to yourself? The number that you can text, and I'll put it in the chat, is 859-208-2351, and you're going to text the word horse. The word horse. And Health Wells, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. I know we're going to continue on with your segment. So, and I think you have a special guest working with you this morning, but I will put the number in the chat. What are you going to add, or what are you going to take away to make your life a little better in 30 years? Think about it. It's a serious thought. Thank you guys for the great morning, and thank you for chiming in.
Thank you, Trisha Rue.
Can we all on mic and give Trisha Rue a big old Ric Flair? Y'all ready? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Woo! And one more for Glenn. Shout out to Glenn Lundy. Woo! Yo, y'all know it's April Fool's Day, and here's the mistake. You see, Glenn started this club, and Mary Lynn have let the 2 Southern-only children loose up in here at 6:30, y'all. Do y'all want to know who that is? Y'all say, who that?
Say who that one out there?
Shawnte and GA. What? Woo!
Oh, Lord.
Yes, shenanigans.
From the South in GA. I don't know about that.
Oh my gosh. Listen, y'all, my brother from another mother is in here and we finna shut it down. See, you know, we talk about housing. So y'all know I'm finna come and I'm gonna hit you with the health housing. You know what I mean? Investing in a house that houses you. But we finna talk about something unconventional ways to invest in the housing that houses us. And then you know my brother coming and he finna run that thing back. If you was here last Thursday, I suggest y'all get the replays. Listen, he brought it. If you was here in LOD, guess what? He even reconfirmed. You know, I like to make up words. You know, something that y'all know, unconventional form of housing that we can invest in. So we coming with that. 1, 2, we double trouble today. April Fools. Listen, y'all better get ready. As Bishop Jakes would say, listen, my brother from another mother. How you doing this morning?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. I'm beside myself. Glenn got us on fire this morning. And you know what? I'm excited to do so. Shawnte, we need to do this more often.
I was just thinking, I said,
This is hot fire. This is like some grits and some salmon in a plate on Sunday morning. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know about them. I'm telling you, we need to do this more often. I love this.
yes, that's what I'm saying. I said, you know what? Me and GA need something that we could do on a Monday, even if it's just 20 minutes. You get what I'm saying? Shawnte and GA. Christina, thank you for bringing GA, exposing us to the greatness that is GA. Listen, I'm Mabel's granddaughter. Listen, she's straight up out of South Georgia. That's why you hear this little Miami Peach over here. Yeah, I said Miami Peach, not Georgia Peach. Born and raised in the county of Dade.
Hey, Shawnte, did your mic just switch? I think your mic just switched. Just heads up, your mic may have just switched.
Oh man. Okay. See, is this better, you guys? I be feeling like Glenn sometimes. No, it's still doing it. Let me try to disconnect. And I'm sitting in the same spot, y'all. This is so weird that this happens. And it was working just fine at 4 a.m. when I was in here. I believe so, because I think y'all would have told me. And I don't know what changed. But anywho, we good now? Okay, I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move, y'all. I'm gonna stay in the spot, GA. You hear me? But anyways, you guys, we're talking about investing in the house that houses you. So y'all know I'm a big believer in gratitude real quick. So I wanted you to think about this very house that you're living in. And I'm talking about you because you housing you. What's something that this house has afforded you to do? Maybe it's you're able to see this morning. Maybe you're able to move your fingers this morning. Maybe you're able to breathe without oxygen this morning, meaning an oxygen machine. Maybe you were able to get up and use your elbows to get that Bustelo that Ramon Ray likes to be getting in the morning. So, what is one thing that this house is affording you to do this morning that you're grateful for? I'll kick it off first. I'm able to breathe in and out without assistance. Who's next? Really quick, popcorn style.
Not able to talk. I hear on Clubhouse in GA. We didn't have salmon. We was too poor. We had croquettes.
I'm able to enjoy the solitude of Cafe Bustelo filling my house right
Woo! Who next? Come on, come on. We got 1 more minute and we finna get this train going.
In my house.
now. Oh, wow.
Go again, Jazz, and we'll come back to you, Tanya.
All right. And so you had Tanya moving around in her house. You had Rodney. Rodney, what'd you say?
I'm able to think with my own mind, think my own thoughts.
Woo! And Jasmine? I said, I'm just grateful for the power of movement. I didn't hear that was the first thing I said. Sorry, guys. Good morning.
I'm able to stand 10 toes down in my house.
Woo!
I'm just grateful I woke up this morning from my house.
Woo! Tanya, go for it.
Tanya, she wants to hear you again. The movement of limbs and being able to breathe and just being able to be in the house with all my friends.
Woo-wee. So y'all, I got something for you. I got some tea for you, and I got something to let you know that yeah, I used to listen to some non-gospel music back in the day, y'all. And there was this song by this group up out of Georgia called Crime Mob, and it used to say, "Nuck if you buck." Anybody know that? Where Mary Lynn at? See, I need my hype woman, GA. Where's she at? Nuck. Yo. Listen, see, you get what I'm saying. Y'all see why I had to hide out when I was telling y'all my April Fools at my grandmama's house. See, I used to be a little troublemaker down here in Miami. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. I need you to ruck if you must. Ruck if you must. Just like they said, duck if you buck. Y'all can see why my students let my class be lit, y'all. Cause see, that's how my mind works. When I'm thinking about a lesson, and I know, everybody don't like the word, but hey, God gave me the gift of teaching, so I gotta put it like I feel it. I love being able to introduce like just like some catchy like choruses, man. That song is timeless. You never heard Nuck If You Buck, I highly suggest to do the non-explicit version of it, if you're sensitive. But I'm telling you, it's one of those that get you moving. Those of y'all who heard it back in the day, did that song, do this song not just man, it raises the energy. It raised the energy. I need down here in South Florida, it definitely did. And so I want you to think of this term, RUCK, ruck, or, putting it in action, rucking. We're talking about unconventional ways that can help you. Listen, invest in a house that houses you. You've never heard me talk about rucking before. What is rucking? Walking with weights. I'm glad you asked. What's the best way to do it? I'm not talking about the military form where they putting on 100 pounds on their back. No, that is not what we talking about. Listen, we need it. Salute to y'all who do and who have done it for us. Real talk. But here's the thing, you guys, I really truly want you to consider, and there are two ways majorly of how people do it. You could do it the military way with the backpack thing. Now, if you're someone that got, your knee bone, your ankle bone, all of these different things, I would suggest, because it's more evenly distributed, a weighted vest, in which is I put the link to mine that I specifically have utilized. So if you're interested, you can order that. But I highly recommend, if you have one, get started. Even if you have to start with 2% of your body weight, you can get started. I think they make them probably as low as 5 pounds, but just simply walking with weight. So here's the thing, especially for my runners out there. If you're pre-hypertensive, if you have, high blood pressure, I'm telling you, this cortisol is usually a major culprit behind this. This is something where you can get the exercise benefits without spiking cortisol. Whoo, I'm telling you, you get a twofer with this. Rucking does so many other things. And especially for those of you who may be of normal weight, and you concerned that you might be one of those TOFI people I mentioned last month, thin on the outside but fat on the inside. Visceral fat is that dangerous fat, and so I need you to do something. I need you got an exterminator for your house. You get an exterminator if you had a problem with the little friends that's crawling around in a car, but yet you won't exterminate, for the most part, one of the most dangerous things that will end your life quicker than any other form of fat, and that's visceral fat. And rucking can help you. So I'm telling you, it's time for you to start nucking and bucking. Nuck if you buck. Hey, muck, ruck if you bust. Hey, nuck if you buck. I need you to understand, rucking is that thing that can help you. There is a reason. You look at guys like Warren Sapp, who've been out of the league. Have you guys never asked yourself, how can these people be clinically obese and yet they don't have any of the metabolic diseases? A lot of people think like, oh, there's no way you could be metabolically healthy, and obese at the same time. The NFL has shown you that. Sumo wrestling has shown you that. The Olympics have shown you that. And I happen to be one of them, and I specialize in that. And I'm not asking you to be obese. What I am asking you to do is to make sure you do something about the things that will drop you quicker than subcutaneous fat. Listen, here's what's happened in this country. is that we've been bamboozled to focus in on 20% of our health equation while the 80 is running amok. Ah, you see how that works? Ah, you see what I did there? Listen, ruck instead of having a muck being ran on you. That's what I need you to understand. I need you to start considering rucking. That's number one. I need you to think about, we have been in green eggs and ham this whole time, y'all. I promise you. And I'm gonna will my brother in here soon. Listen, he went in the dark and followed the complainer. He went in the dark. He said, say in the dark, here in the dark, would you, could you, in the dark. He keep trying to get him to try the green eggs and ham. He said, I would not, could not, in the dark. And I hear somebody saying, I cannot, I will not, I can't do this. Listen, stop, hush. Stop complaining. Stop saying what you can't do. Stop having more patience for problems than you do for the solutions. Rucking can be a solution, but you know what else can be a solution to help you invest in your house? See, you invest in all these other things, but what about the house that's housing you? Woo! I'm telling you guys, you can win in your health. You were designed to be a centenarian, y'all. I'm telling you, I know this in my bones that you can. Rucking is an easy way. There's so many health benefits to it. But here's another thing, and I'm gonna drop the link in the chat because I want to make sure that I put up my brother's link as well. I need you to think about cacao. Ooh, you see, you've heard Maria talk to you guys about the lion's mane. I'm telling you, Four Sigmatic has, and listen, I don't work for them people. I don't know them people. Listen, I don't know now. But what I do know is that it works, and I use this with my pros. I'm telling you, if cortisol, if high blood pressure, if your A1C is not where you need it to be, like if you're at a 5.8 and above, then you need to consider hot cacao with reishi. And Four Sigmatic makes the purest and the best form that I've found on the market. Those two things alone can help you stop being ran amok. Like it will really truly help you. It's the best, one of the best investments that you can make in the house that houses you. So I need you to come out of the darkness. I need you to consider rucking. Ruck if you must. And I need you to consider cacao. And I'm gonna drop that link. So not only do these things sometimes require financial interventions, there are ways that we can invest in housing unconventionally. And my brother continues to tell us of something that I absolutely love, which is REITs. It takes funds, y'all, to continue to invest in your health. Listen, don't sit and accept excuses. I need us to move forward and find the solutions. My brother from another mother, are you ready to tell us about some solutions that you told us about? Because listen, you know I like that cha-ching when I hear them the dividends coming through. So I need you to GA take the mic, brother. Woo!
I think this is hilarious. Every time I get a dividend payment from a REIT, I literally have the sound on my phone say ching, like an alert. Every time I do that, every time I get a deposit, ching, it shows up on my phone, and I leave my sound on because I want to be so accustomed to that sound. I want it to wake me up out of my sleep. I want it to hear. I want to hear when I'm in the shower. I want to be making money when I'm not thinking about money and when my money is making money. And it's a psychological advantage. So the first thing I'd encourage you all to do is, even if it's just your paycheck, get your mind accustomed to money showing up unexpectedly. Because it's something called the reticulating activation system in your brain. You don't notice black cars till you buy one. You don't notice new money until you have it. Come on, somebody. I'm just saying, change your ringtone, change your mind frame, it'll change your life. And I'm gonna you know what? You were asking me about REITs, and I'm gonna give you all some REITs to go look at. But one thing I want to tell you, even you all that actually have a home, guys, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. Even if you have a home, that's a little cash engine that you can actually work. And most people don't even think about the many opportunities. It's like, well, I can get a HELOC or a QLAC, or I can actually get the appreciation. No, stop. There's so much more. You can rent your garage as a micro warehousing to someone who needs to store space. Have you thought about that? Everybody got these EV cars. What do you think about actually setting up your house as a charging station and charge, even if you got a gas car? It's just so many different ways, not just by co-living or room to room, or just actually doing that. If you're into the tokenization, if you're into crypto, if you're into that kind of thing and you understand it, you can fractionalize your property. Ask me about it. It's happening. If you're actually into the digital ecosystem, there's so many ways you can put your lease rights on the blockchain, people. It's so much money out here. I hope you can swim, because it's a sea of money out here. Hear me clearly. Infrastructure income, like I said, solar panels, battery storage leasing. You can do that in the home that you live in. You can become a micro utility. You actually have your home actually for events. You can rent it out for photo shoots, for film sets. There's so many different ways that you can rent your home. Pay for you. Not the other film sets. I'm just saying. And if you have a little bit of land, have you ever thought about storage units? Have you ever thought about erecting a tiny home? There's ways to do this. If you got extra land, you can rent space for RV and boat parking. There's so many different ways. I don't want y'all to walk by the obvious because it's there. Am I talking to anybody? Y'all catching this? Y'all catching this?
Cha-ching! Show enough.
And here's some REITs. And if you don't know what a REIT is, and y'all know I've been talking about it for a while, a REIT literally is almost like a stock. It's a real estate investment trust, and the shares trade like stocks on one of the major exchanges. It lets you invest into income producing real estate without buying the property. So they pay a rent check. You actually own a share, and you get paid a portion of that rent check based on the amount of shares you own. That's where the dividends come from. And I'm going to run through some quickly. And guys who don't already know, this is where you, like she was saying, you know, work what you buck. Go ahead and put this weight vest on, because I promise you, you're going to need the strength in your economic thighs to take you through 2026. Go ahead and do this. Put the extra weight on your pocketbook and invest in these. And I'm going to give you some really quick. Y'all guys know I've been talking about AMT for a long time. It's not going anywhere. AMT is American Towers. American Tower is a global powerhouse. What they do is they own the land that cell towers are built on. If anybody thinks cell towers is going away, don't invest in the AMT. I don't think they're going anywhere. But realty income, that's one of the safest REITs that are out there. Okay, guys? It actually gives about a 5.6% dividend yield. And it has been doing that consistently. Tell me where you're getting 5.6% paid to you, not you paying somebody else. You got Simon Property Group, SPG is the ticker symbol. It's been actually, its quarter dividend has been about 4.8 at $2.20 a share. Guys, I'm not talking about, oh, I got to not go on vacation to buy a REIT. It's $2.20 a share. And they have delivered 14 dividend hikes over 5 years. Their payouts has risen an average of 11.7%. Guys, this is real money out here. SBA Communications, what we call SBAC, SBACK. It's like American Tower. They own 45,000 wireless towers across America, South America, and Africa. And they have been in business and hiking up their dividends. You got Essex Property Trust, ESS. They focus on multifamily properties in California and the specific Northwest. And their progressions have been growing consistently. Their dividends have been growing at a 3% interest, at a 3% rate of growth. Hear me clearly. Places like that ESS, ERQ, SBAC, AMT, and these will be in my Substack because that's how I like to do y'all so y'all can find them. Realty Income is Equinix, and Digital Realty Trust is one of my favorite. Y'all been hearing about these data centers all over the place? Guess what? Digital Realty Trust, DLR. It's a data center REIT. You can buy and profit on all of these data centers they're building everywhere for AI, cloud computing, digital transformation. It's across the country. You don't have to buy the land. You don't have to buy into the company. You can just actually get a portion of the rent because they're not buying this property, they're renting it. So why don't you go get paid? Because I tell you what, romance without finance ain't nothing but a nuisance. Somebody talk to me. What you say, Shawnte?
I say ruck and you buck. Hey, ruck, we rucking and bucking. That's what we doing. That's what Rocky said. I love that. I'm saying, like, I'm so excited. And I dropped the code for the AMT if any of you guys wanted to look up what he was saying. What you said, Pastor Jess? What is happening with this mic? Did y'all hear me?
There you go.
Okay, rucking and bucking. That's what we do. I'm saying I dropped the code for AMT in there if anyone wants to look it up, the REIT that he mentioned. So, like, listen, I was trying to see if my brother could lend us 5 minutes because y'all know, I know y'all got questions, and I know, like, me and GA could go. So listen, this ain't no April Fools. Even if you're a renter, GA, that's what I love, is that you've shown us opportunities of how we can get into real estate without being a real estate guru, how we can get into housing. You get what I mean? You don't have to know everything that Maria knows to get in on real estate. You don't have to know everything that GA knows to get in on the benefits of real estate. These are unconventional ways, listen, to invest in housing that houses you. Back to you, GA. Woo!
Have any questions? You want to ask me any questions really quickly about this? I dropped some symbols in the Yes.
Okay, so all these acronyms, where do we get them? Where do we go?
You can literally, if you're into trading,
Yes.
if you're into trading, if you have a trading platform, then that's where you can go. If you are not into trading and you say, hey, I have a Fidelity account, I have a Schwab account. Go look on your account. Go look these up. You can look them up by their ticker symbols on your account. And depending on the type of account, you can adjust it yourself. I'll call your broker and adjust it. Have your broker adjust. Say, hey, I want to put some of my money in the ESS or Realty Income or Silent Property Group. Either way you want to do that, they are available to actually invest in. Does that answer that question for you?
That answers that question.
Or, you can set an appointment and can we talk?
Hey, GA.
Yes, sir.
This is Peter. I'm hearing you guys just crooning in the morning. What's going on? Here's a crooning. I don't know, maybe I got the words wrong. But here's my, I use Cash App. and it's very simple. But I use Cash App. That's where I did my stock purchasing and sweating and airing and worrying. But I just do it in Cash App, and it's kind of, I say worrying, but it's kind of worry free. I buy some stocks there, whether it's Apple or I buy ETF there. I know you're not big on ETF, but that's where I do it, just to kind of help who was it that asked a question just now? I think Malika it was, but just use Cash App if you're okay with that. Now, GA, there are also a couple apps that I use. I use Acorn, and I use Stash as well. So I use both of those things. And so what those things do for me is every week I have $50 or $30 coming out of my checking account going straight into Acorn and also Stash. So those are really a couple simple things. And then, like I say, I'm not an expert, so I just don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
I do like Stash. I'm a fan of Stash.
That has the smart trade.
Yeah, they have the smart trade. I'm a fan of Stash. I won't go into my own personal misgivings about the Robinhood and the Cash App, but I will say I'm a fan of Stash because you guys know how I am. I believe people should keep their own money and limit on fees. And but yeah, I'm a fan of Stash. I'm a fan of SoFi. I personally have SoFi. I deal with that. I put my daughters into SoFi, so I'm a fan of that. So yeah, and that's a good play. If you really are not comfortable with it, just what Peter said, take $50, $30 out of your account and invest from those type of apps until you get comfortable. I just encourage you to keep learning so you can take back more control of your investing and keep learning and keep growing. Back to you, Shawnte.
Woo! Listen, y'all, the clock on the wall says it's all, but if y'all are feeling me and GA, listen, we got to run this thing back. See, a lot of people wonder, like, what does money have to do with health? It got everything to do with it. You know, how often have people said, oh, I can't afford this, I don't have money for this, and I didn't. No, like, so fix the problem so that you can really truly fix the other problem. My a mentor used to always say, GA, thank God for problems that money can solve, because there are some health problems that can come about that, you know, the money ain't gonna solve. So I need you to get it while you can. Stop complaining. Stop complaining and fix it. And GA has shown us some ways. And if you guys listen, tomorrow, my brother will be here. He will be here dropping more gems. You'll have even more time to ask even more questions. We were just trying to give you a little taste. You know what I'm saying? We bucking and we rucking today. We talk about wrecking, right? We sauced it up just a little bit to go ahead and get your taste buds going. So listen, we gonna run this thing back again. I can promise you that. I love GA's energy, and hopefully him and PJ don't tell, you know, my mom and get her stirred up again about my April Fool's joke. So we're out of time.
Unless you want to bribe us not to.
I think GA, I think I'm gonna have to get some of them cha-chings and send them y'all way. I think some of them cha-chings gonna have to go y'all way to keep me safe. I love it. I love it, y'all. So we were talking earlier about the April Fools. Some Trisha asked some of us, and so I did a really bad one on my mom and my aunt, and went into hiding after. So I love you guys, and I am here every first Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. And if you want to know more about rucking, or if you're looking to, I am launching a challenge on April the 27th on my grandmother's birthday, and I will be sharing, once that link is working, I'll be sharing that and putting that out to you guys if you guys want to come and do a tiny challenge with me. So I love you guys, and I know my brother Dragon is on the stage and he's up next. Thank you so much, GA. Can we all send GA out with a big old Ric Flair and turn this thing over to Dragon on three? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! And my pleasure, y'all. Peace. Over to you, Dragon. Woo!
It must be April Fool's Day, because I just came in here and I was like, what the ruck?
How
How did that work? Did that play well?
Great job.
Natasha, do you have anything that needs to be said as we transition?
Good.
Just basically, good morning. You're in Breakfast with Champions, Millionaire Breakfast Club, and we have the amazing Dragon from the Make Sense Academy that's coming up next. So thank you, Dragon, for letting me just take that public service announcement. I was trying to get it out, Dragon, and it wasn't. But
There you go.
What the ruck, man! I love that. Thank you so much, man. Have a great segment. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna talk about what the ruck is going on in the world today. But before we get into that, you know, it's funny. You know, I was listening to GA pointing out so many different things that we could be doing. You know, and it's true. You know, I think everybody here knows that it's actually never been easier to make money ever in the history of money. You know, and at the same time, there's so many people that are just stuck, you know, and so what's fascinating to me is I always like look at the thing, the opportunity or whatever, and I always go, so, you know, I can see that 99.9% of the world's not doing it, you know, lead a horse to water, can't make him drink type thing. So my fascination, my work is always in the, what's up with that, you know? And I think that most people probably, because we got this nervous system thing going on, and we've got our conditioned programmed operating system that hears these things. And what's funny is most people, when they hear about opportunities, they actually, you know, the visceral feeling is they get scared, and they go into what's called cognitive bias, you know, like come up with some sort of a story about why it won't work for them, or well, you know, I think most human beings are just afraid of responsibility, you know, responsibility for themselves and their happiness and their life and stuff. So I love people like GA because, you know, in his wheelhouse, I love how you point out like things that are happening. This is one of the reasons I love Gary V. You know, he's always like, you want to make a quick $5,000? He says, go in your garage and sell stuff or something like that. And then all of a sudden people go, well, I'm broke and I could use $5,000, but then their butt comes into it and they say, but, but. So I'm going to ask everybody to leave your butt behind you today. Leave your butt behind you today. And also GA, I want to add something else that I've done in my house. I've actually started, I'm not really supposed to talk about this because it's the first rule, but I started a fight club in my basement here in Greenwich, Connecticut, and it's very profitable. So you guys can start a fight club as well in your basement. But like I said, I was not supposed to talk about that because that's the first rule.
I've got kids. I've had them for like 10 years.
Well, that was gonna be my next part of the joke is say, well, the truth is that that's where all my kids hang out because that's why we call it Fight Club. Anyway, thanks so much for that, GA. And also, GA, from what I understand, you had a run-in and met